Hi, I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and today I want to talk to you about how I am starting to generate a revenue interest in my new CNC woodworking business that I just morphed into just recently. I do not have a formal business set up as of yet, and nor do I have revenue being generated yet. However, I want to talk to you about how that is morphing into a business and a revenue stream is starting to, I want to say, develop. Now, before I get into that, I just want to show you, I'm just working on a project on my Bob's CNC machine, and I'm etching a tree of life into a large piece of glass, and that is taking a very long time. Probably would have been much better to do with a laser, but that's okay. There's a lot of learning experience on VCarve, which is the program I'm currently working on. But let's get down to the business at hand, and let me take a sip of my coffee first. CNC, laser, router, and other CNC machines. How do you make money off of it, and how do you even get started? Well, I had no idea how to get started, and I'm still starting. It's just kind of happening as we go along. I want to give you a little bit of history about me first before we dive into how the CNC routing is starting to morph into actual work and revenue generating work. So my name is Garrett Fromme, and about 2.5 years ago, I got to that point in life where I just realized being an engineer and in the engineering industry was too confining for me. I knew there was more out there for me within my heart. There was this creative energy within me, something we all have, and I think we all feel that need to go after, but are too afraid to do it. And 2 years ago, I just said, I'm done being an engineer. I've got to go discover what this thing is. And I had to do a lot of internal work to unlock myself from the matrix, as we'll call it. The rules of the world that say you can't do these different things or you'll never make it. And we end up starting to believe it. So we become afraid to go after what we want. So I literally just quit work. I'm 58 right now. I'll be 59 this month. It's November 2020. And I had no interest in working for someone else for the next 15 years until retirement, foregoing my life pleasure. And when I quit, I just took a 6-month sabbatical. I drove in my Jeep, lived in the mountains. I would throw my sleeping bag on the ground and just enjoy life. But so I got all that worked out of my system, and I came back and I said, now what? I started on this journey of learning. I got into an organization called Mentorscom, which is actually a little like a global kind of organization, right? It's an education that really geared for people like me and you. If you're interested in, if you're just a small-time person trying to figure out something to earn your buck, doing something that you really love to do, it's a huge, amazing community of people who they teach how to build your business on the internet. I mean, like all things internet, from Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I mean, they cover the gamut. The people within the organization that teach, these are the people that are at the top rankings of all these things. I've done very well, so they know the ins and outs, and the community in it is super tight. I mean, super tight. It's all entrepreneurs. People like you and me who are like, I got to do something different, more. It's got to be my own. I got to go after it. I need people to believe in me, and I want to be around that kind of group of people, and that's what you find. And I've been totally floored with Mentors. It's run by Stuart Ross and Jay Kubasek, a couple of entrepreneurs that just discovered that the online space was the way to go, and they got to a point where they wanted to teach it, and now they have a multi-million-dollar education. It really is, for $97 a month, you wouldn't believe it. There is a link down below that you can go look at. mentors. And if you click that, I get an affiliate commission, right? I mean, it's if you sign up. Now, that's just the kind of way the online space works in many ways. Making income is through affiliate sales. And seeing as I'm a student, I'm mentored in there. But anyway, I have gotten way off track, but I just wanted you to know how I got into this, and it's going to kind of lead up to some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about. So getting back to my other story, I got into mentors, and I tried lots of different things. I got into the Dan Lok education, which was exceptionally well, by the way. Dan Lok is high-income copywriting, high-income closing, but it just wasn't me, but I met a bunch of people. Anyway, tried lots of different things, and one day I was sitting there stressing about life, going, this is not working the way I want it to. And the money's running out. You know, worrying about the future financially, and didn't, you know, like most people, he didn't really plan for the future. And one day I just sat there and I said, you know what, I'm going to let go of this anxiety. And I literally sat down at my pad and paper and just started writing 100 times. I let go, I let go, I let go. And this was maybe 3 months ago from this video. And from that moment of spiritually, or in that letting go of that inner resistance to trusting my own path, everything started to change. And it was almost like right after that this whole CNC idea started to morph in its own really interesting way that I can't really explain. It didn't get into CNC until, I don't know, a month later or something like that. But I just knew that I started to want to create words and pictures and images, things that meant something to people. And somehow I just got into this, and I ended up buying a BobsCNC E4 machine and got the V-Carve program. And it was like, I just immersed into it. You know, I found something. And I was literally, I mean, 12, 14 hours a day, learning V-Carve, playing with the CNC machine, and just making shit, and just exercising this creativity. And here's where the interest in where this is now formally, I want to say formally, but not yet formal, started to turn into revenue interest, where it will turn to revenue streams. As I started to create, even from my beginning really rough projects, I just posted it. You know, I took video of it, I talked, and I just posted these videos and these things everywhere. So this kind of steps back to this mentors thing, where I've learned about all the social platforms. The problem is, you gotta just do it, you know? I mean, we don't like, some of us don't like social platforms, and they become overwhelming, but that is the revenue source. Online is the revenue way to make money for the small-time person like you and me. And I've learned through that by taking advantage of all these platforms and just putting it out there, that people will find you, the ones that are interested in what you want to create or what you will want to create. The thing with the CNC stuff is, you know, you want to do something, but then you start to morph into something else that you start to find that you really love to make. And that's where the revenue will start to happen. And you just trust that it's going to happen. But getting back to the point is, all I did was just make video for YouTube. And for Facebook, Instagram, my Facebook business account, Pinterest, what else is there? There's a lot of them, and it gets kind of complicated, but just work on one at a time. Like, my primary focus has been YouTube and Instagram. Instagram is not really good for this. I'm actually going to morph into more Pinterest, because it's such a visual platform. But learning and understanding what these platforms are about and how to use keywords to generate the interest, or, you know, to help people find you, to help the Google and YouTube algorithms and Facebook algorithms put you in front of the right kind of people. What this is doing, by just creating all my stuff and putting it out there, just putting it out there, right? videos especially, people are very visual. People are starting to show interest. And now I'm getting people communicating with me saying, I saw what you did with this particular project. It was a glass etching of my daughter's sonogram, of her third son. And people are going, that's amazing. And can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm going, yeah. And so now I've got a couple business people, friends, right? I mean, but they found me by virtue of doing my stuff instead of by virtue of the friendship. They just had a need. I put the stuff out there and their thoughts are going, ooh, I really like that. Maybe I can do this with my business kind of stuff. And that's how this is all starting to generate. So the moral of the story of this whole thing of how you turn your CNC ambition or passion and your creative passion into a revenue stream is to, I want to say, forget about the money and start focusing on the passion and how to create that, and then plaster it out to the world. It doesn't matter if your work looks like crap in the beginning. The fact is you're getting used to putting it out there. You're learning, you're creating, and every step is a step forward. My beginning stuff looked like hell. It just did. But the creation within is expanding, and my skills are getting better, and now the interest is starting. And so that's really my best advice is, number one, if you are thinking about getting into like CNC laser or CNC cutters, CNC routing, just do it. Really, just stop waiting and trying to pick the right thing. It really comes down to fear. Or, I mean, am I going to have the money? I'm stressed on my budget, and I don't give a shit because I love doing this. It's a passion, and I know, I just trust within me that I'm doing the right thing, right? That it's going to be okay. When it comes down to life, we're okay right now anyway. No matter what stress we had in the past about money or things, and you're here. That means the future's going to be okay, right? That's kind of a little side thing. I'm just going to say it again. Just get the machine. Doesn't matter what machine it is. Start creating. And just put your stuff out there. Learn how to do it. I would strongly recommend learning how to use the internet in ways where you can generate revenue streams. I mean, I'll be advertising on Facebook shortly with what I'm creating. I just didn't do it yet with this sonogram thing because it's not fully developed yet. I'm not comfortable with the level of what it looks like. Anyway, I hope that this kind of gave you some incentive to just do it. Trust that you're on the path. And if you buy a machine and you're sitting there working with it, it's just not doing it for you, you discovered something that's not within your heart. It's not really the right path, but you don't know until you actually do it. And then you go into some other venture. But that, by virtue of doing that, will lead you into a path of that next venture. But when we hold ourselves back in fear of showing off our work or just trying or spending the money to get the equipment so we can start to create, hold you back from that ultimate expression that is basically your love inside, and we'll bring it out to the world, and the world will find you, because the world who resonates with that same love, that passion that you have. Ooh, am I fired up. But I really wanted to get this out there. If you are interested in starting to learn about this entrepreneurial thing and how to take advantage of the social platforms, then the link down below to look at mentors is it's down below. The thing I want to say about the online space that I have really learned by this virtue of this program is how important it is to become accepting and embracing the online world, the way Google works and the way YouTube works, Facebook and all the other ones that are out there, and embracing it as a source of revenue and a source a place where you can be expressive of what you want to create. And I think that's about it. I said my piece. I'll just top it off. If you're interested in the CNC stuff and you want to make an income doing your thing, just go buy the damn machine and start learning, and let that creative juice flow from you. If you want to start to earn revenue and you're just, it's just you, get among a community that's going to be there with you to embrace that dream that you have. That, like the Matrix, the world outside says you can't do that. There's limits to life, and there are no limits. And that's why I embrace the mentors. They call it SFM, six-figure mentors, as well. That's because they're all entrepreneurs. It's a totally different mindset that is really hard to get used to after you've been an employee all your life. That the world that you are creating as an entrepreneur, you're in total command of, whether it works or whether it doesn't work. But if you're doing it, it's like a passion beyond what the rest of the world has. And embrace your dream. Embrace this ambition to find that creative juice within you, and just do it. And as you're creating, plaster it everywhere on social media. They will find you and come to you and say, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? And you'll start to see the revenue start to flow. So this is Garrett, and this is about what to do to start moving yourself into that revenue generation of the CNC router, laser, your dream. All right, comment down below. Tell me what you think. What is your dream? Put that in the comment. I'm a huge advocate of putting things in writing and letting the world know, expressing yourself to the rest of the world, because there's three things I know. I know I'm babbling on now, but I got to say this. There are three things that brings things in life that you want. The first is the thought, original thought they call it, right? My original thought is, I am a creator. And there's two ways that can go. I'm afraid to express my creativity, the fear, or I am going to embrace and love my creativity. And that's the I am a creator. And the second one is verbalizing it. I'm thinking it, I am a creator, now I'm telling the world, I'm a creator. I'm a CNC machinist, creator, a dreamer, bringing things to life. And then the third is the deed, the doing. Put your physical, take the physical actions to start to make it happen. And once all those three come together and you find that passion for it, it flows, and eventually it will start to turn into, you'll start to turn into the reward of revenue. And the only way we get revenue is by giving value. And the best way to give value is doing something that we love. The people that embrace what you love to do will come find you, and they'll be willing to pay you for that expression of value that gives them value. When they get value, they're willing to pay for it. Hope that made sense. Go after your dream. This is Garrett from IDC Woodcraft, CNC router family and laser family. Just do it.